Hello and welcome. I'm Jenny Hall. Thanks for joining me for another card making tutorial. Today I'm creating a very pretty card. I'm very fond of this project. I'm using the Amazing Life stamp set, and I'm also adding in the Country Floral Dynamic Embossing Folder. This is a new embossing folder that you can earn for free during Celebration, which runs through the end of March 2019. Because this special embossing folder creates a 3D look, I build up my Big Shot sandwich a little bit different than typical. I'm using my base plate without the thin die adapter, then the embossing folder with the paper inside, topped with one clear plate. And check out the result. These flowers seem to just come right off the paper. There is so much texture on this piece of paper that I feel that it's important to mount this onto something that will keep it more stable. So I've added this panel onto another piece of Whisper White and attached it with snail adhesive. I'm stamping the small floral image onto a scrap of white paper with gray granite ink. I'm using the Highland Heather combination pack of Stampin' Blends markers to add the darker color around the outside of the flower, and then right up against it, the lighter shade, and then using the clear color lifter marker to push the color back toward the outside of the petal. Because I put no color in the center of the flower, I'm able to push that color back to where it looks like there's more dimension in the flower. It gives a really pretty look. I've colored the leaves in the same manner with the soft Seafoam Stampin' Blend marker combo pack, and I'm using that same color lifter to get a gradient look on the leaves as well. There are no coordinating dies for the flowers, so I'm using my paper snips to just do a very simple fussy cut on the flowers. A piece of basic gray cardstock with white heat embossing is going to really stand out and coordinate well with my purple flowers. So I'm going to add the sentiment from Amazing Life, and I'm using the embossing buddy to first treat the paper, then stamping in Versamark, sprinkling on the white embossing powder, and then I use an old paintbrush to wipe away any stray grains of the paper, of the embossing powder. That's going to really show up on this dark cardstock. I also used a sharp pointy tool to try to make sure that all the lettering is crisp. Once heat embossed, then I can use this brand new punch that is part of Celebration Coordination. It's called I think it's called the Sweet Story Punch. Check the video description and it'll give you exactly the name and a link for purchasing. The embossed panel is raised on dimensionals right onto a top folding A2 card base. I've also added dimensionals to the punched sentiment. I like how the darkness of the sentiment stands up and just really shows against that textured background. And the florals on that textured background are perfect. Just as a little accent, I'm adding a few adhesive back sequins from the Gingham Gala, and I absolutely love that. Very, very simple. For the inside of the card, I'm using another stamp from the Amazing Life stamp set, inking it in gray granite, and then stamping it right down to a panel of Whisper White. I'm using the same markers that I used on the front of the card to add a few color accents. This is the soft Seafoam, and I'll use the lighter and the dark to give the banner just a little bit of stand up and dimension. even though it's on the stamped flat surface. And I'm using that same Highland Heather marker to be able to give those letters that spell happy just a little bit of a stand up as well. I'm going to adhere this to the inside of the card with a few dots of liquid glue. I created two versions of this card. One version has 5 of the flowers as seen in the video here, but I made another one that has probably 15 flowers. I thought it would just be gorgeous to have an abundance of flowers, and you can see the comparison here. More flowers on the left versus fewer flowers on the right. I would love to hear which version you think that you would like the best. The left or the right? More flowers or less flowers? Thank you so much for joining me today for this tutorial. It's easy to duplicate, and imagine the color scheme. These flowers could be done in coral and you could keep all the rest of the colors the same. Absolutely stunning and so easy to create. All of the products are available in my online store, and information is in the video description. Over at my blog at jennyhalldesign.com, there's also a free printable PDF for this particular project. You can download it for free, so don't miss that. Thanks again for stopping by, and I'll see you next time.
Hi, my name is Trip. Thanks for watching the video. See you next time.